In this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you need to be pulling hook grip when you deadlift. These are my own hook grip top 5s that I came up with, and I put them in order of importance, I suppose, at least the way I looked at it. And I'll just go ahead and start. Number 1 reason why you should make the switch to hook grip is it's going to eliminate any grip problems that you might have. And this is going to be true for most people. I can't say that this is going to be true for every single lifter, but for most people, you're going to eliminate grip problems that you have. Why is this the case? Well, when you learn how to hook grip and you do it correctly, hooking by wrapping your fingers around your thumb, it locks the weight in. The weight is on the thumb, so pretend like this is the bar. When I grip it and go around, the weight is going against my thumb, and then the thumb is being pushed against my fingers here. Well, if you've used chalk and there's plenty of friction created and you're squeezing hard enough, it is like a lock. I mean, it just doesn't come undone. Now, I do realize that there are a few people out there who do actually have grip issues pulling hook grip in some situations. I know of a lifter right now who has in the past experienced some grip issues with pulling hook. But most people who learn how to do it are going to see all of their grip problems go completely away when pulling, and grip is no longer going to be a limiting factor for them. Number 2, using hook grip will actually improve your technique as a deadlifter. And this goes for sumo deadlifters and conventional deadlifters. And I would actually argue that sumo deadlifters might actually see slightly more improvement than conventional deadlifters. But one of the number 1 things that pulling hook is going to eliminate will be that underhand helicopter bar, where you pull and your underhand starts to kick out away from your body. Go on Instagram right now and watch people pull conventional, and you'll see a high percentage of them will, to some extent, the bar on their underhand side will drift out away from their body or their shins as they pull. And of course, that's bad. We don't want the bar ever to get out away from us. We want it tight against us and against our shins. We want to be scraping our shins up as we pull up with the bar. So with that double hand overhand grip, you don't get any of that helicopter or coming out motion. That's completely eliminated. The other thing, technique-wise, that you're going to experience pulling with a double overhand hook is if you are a conventional puller, you should feel yourself driving with your heels more than when you pulled with a mixed grip. I say this because that's one of the things that I've experienced as I've pulled hook conventionally more and more is, wow, I can really feel myself driving my heels through the ground and getting my hips into it. Typically, when I pull with a mixed grip conventional, I have a tendency to let the weight pull me forward onto my toes. And that's why I am really a poor conventional deadlifter, because I have trouble driving my heels through the ground and pushing the ground away with my heels instead of letting the weight get on my toes. This leads into number 3, a better starting position. When I say that, I mean you're actually, to a small extent, extending your arms, extending the length of your arms by pulling with that double overhand hook. How is that possible? Why does that happen? If you pull mixed and you do what most people recommend when you're setting your grip as you go down to get the bar, you will overgrip with your underhand and you'll overgrip with your overhand, so that if the bar starts to come down, it only moves a little bit. A lot of people recommend getting the bar into the palm of your hand. Well, regardless of how big your hands are, if you do that, you're pulling your torso down to do that. So you're actually creating a small or slight deficit. And we may only be talking about, fractions of an inch, but you all know that small tweaks in leverages and gaining inches or fractions of inches in leverages can add weight to your lifts. I'm not saying that by pulling hook you're going to add 50 pounds to your deadlift instantly, but it will put you in a better starting position because you will be able to achieve a more upright position pulling hook than you would with a mixed when you go to set your grip. And this again will feed into better technique if you're a conventional lifter, allowing you to really drive through your heels as you start your lift. And even as a sumo puller, keeping that bar tucked in tight to your shins and really helping you also drive through the floor and spread the floor as a sumo lifter. Number 4 reason why you need to be pulling hook: imbalances. When you pull with an over-under, you have an imbalance. Or you will create imbalances because of the way, you can see right now, just look at my arms, look at my shoulders. I'm just sitting here and you can see that I'm in a different position. I'm tweaked one way or the other with that over-under. And most people that I've seen don't switch. They'll pull over-under with one of their hands being the under hand all the time or the other. And they don't really switch back and forth a whole lot. I'm sure there are some people out there that do that. But most people, when they go for their heavier pulls, are going to pull with what they're comfortable with. And that's a grip that they use more often than the other. Over time, that's going to create an imbalance. If you've ever watched someone deadlift from behind, you will see this. It's very pronounced. It's almost like one shoulder is down lower than the other. And you can guess which shoulder that is. It would be the underhand shoulder. So if you're slightly cocked one way or the other, that's going to go down your spine, into your hips, and it's going to create, it could just be a very small imbalance, which eventually is going to feed into your knees and into your ankles, and you could potentially see issues from that created imbalance in your squat and in your bench. So that's reason number 4 why going double overhand hook is going to eliminate any imbalances, and it may actually give you a better, how should I say this? You may see fewer injuries over time because of it. And then number 5, you should actually achieve a stronger grip from pulling double overhand hook. Why is that? Well, with a lot of people, you're hooking and you're only getting your middle and index finger over your thumbs, and then that leaves your ring finger and your pinky finger kind of to themselves. They're not actually hooked and locked in like these two are. Well, if you talk to anybody or you test anyone, the weakest fingers on your hand are going to be your thumb, which is irrelevant at this point because it's locked in, but then it's going to be these two out here on the end, your ring and your pinky finger. They're significantly weaker. Well, if you're pulling hook and those two are not hooked in on your thumb, you have to squeeze them very, very, very hard to help maintain control of the bar, so that as you pull, the bar will, and you'll see this in some of my videos, and if you watch other people who pull hook, if they're lifting in a meet and they're pulling, 100%, when they get even from their opener up, it's enough where these two fingers can't really hold on to that weight. So the bar ends up kind of rolling down, and you'll see the plate spin a little bit until it's stopped when it hits that sticking locking point in your thumb. Well, over time, because if you're pulling correctly, from my perspective, over time as you're squeezing these two fingers as hard as you can, when you pull hook, to take some of the pressure off of your thumbs when you get up there to that 90, 95, 100% weight, you're strengthening these two fingers. So your grip strength at your weakest point is actually going to become stronger. So what does that mean? If for some reason you were to have issues with your grip pulling hook, well, you've got the luxury of, you know what, I can't pull hook. I guess I can go back to an over-under mixed, and your grip strength is still going to be there, and in fact, it's probably going to be stronger. And the reason that's better is because if you've never tried to pull hook and you don't learn how to do it, A, you're missing out on these 5 benefits, but B, if you're having grip issues, what do you have to fall back on? If you know how to pull hook and you're having grip issues, then you can go back to over-under. At least you have another option. But if you only pull over-under and for some reason you're having grip issues, you have no other choice. You're done. Like you are limited by what your grip can handle. Hook grip, for most people, eliminates any grip problems. So those are my top 5 reasons why you need to be pulling hook grip. I will tell you right now, it does hurt. You know, the most I've pulled so far with a deadlift bar, so it's a 28 millimeter bar, is 585. And to be totally honest with you, it did not hurt as much as I expected. Does it hurt? Yes. When you get to your top sets, it's going to hurt because your thumb ends up taking a lot of the pressure. However, in my experience so far, it has been a lot easier than I thought it would be to make that transition. And if I were to tell you how to make the transition, I would say simply start with 135, then go to 225, then go to 315, and then 405, and then work your way up at your own pace over the period of, I don't know, 8 to 12 weeks to give yourself ample time to make the adjustment and desensitize your thumbs to the pain. Some people may have a high pain tolerance and can just grab on and go, and will make the transition a lot quicker than others. But I recommend, just like if I was to tell someone to make the transition from conventional to sumo, give yourself plenty of time to make the transition and make it very gradual. Because if you've never done it and you don't have a high pain tolerance and you think, you know what, today I'm going to go in and I'm going to hook grip X amount of weight, and you've never done it before, you're going to scare yourself away. You're honestly going to go, oh my God, that really hurt. I'm never doing that again. So take it slow, and I think you'll be very surprised. All right, real quick, I forgot to include this in my video about why you should be pulling hook grip. And the one thing that I wanted to touch on first, but I totally forgot, was most people will say that they can't pull hook grip because their hands are too small. Well, real quick, I just want you to take a look at my hands, and right away you're going to say, man, you know, your fingers are kind of fat and stumpy. Yeah, they are. They're short, stumpy, they're thick. They're really not good hook grip pulling hands. They're not, but I'm still able to do it, no problem. As a matter of fact, to prove my point a little further, I went ahead and measured my hands. From the very base of my palm here up to the tip of my middle finger was only 7.5 inches, okay? Then I measured again from out here, from the tip of my pinky over to my thumb, and that was 8.5 inches. And you know what they say about small hands? Small gloves. Anywho, I'm still able to pull hook. And again, yes, I have only gone up to 585, but at no point during that lift did I ever feel like I was going to lose that bar because my hands were too small. It locks in. And believe me when I say, if you can get these 2 fingers over your thumb, just like I can, you can pull hook grip successfully. So don't tell me your hands are too small, because believe me, they're more than likely big enough and you could do it if you wanted.